Hi, friends. It's me, Dallas. You can call me Dals, and welcome to Dallas Chats, the podcast where I talk about my fault, whatever I want to whoever will listen. And thank you so much for listening today. What the fuck is up, you guys? So I just want to come clean about something. I know last week I said that I had a tight filming schedule because I'm working so much up until my vacation, whatever. And that isn't a lie. I told the truth. And I also said that I was going to be filming within the same week both videos, last week's video and this week's video, which also isn't exactly a lie. So I did film both episodes last on Tuesday, um, last Tuesday. So I filmed both of them. I filmed obviously the first episode and then filmed this week's episode, what was supposed to be this week's episode, and I didn't like it. I feel like doing them in the same day was kind of a stretch, um, because the second episode for what was meant to be this week's episode kind of felt rushed, and it wasn't like I wasn't happy with it. I wasn't satisfied with the overall result of it. And I did not want to put that out there if I wasn't okay with the video. I didn't want to put out a video that I wasn't rocking with, right? And I want you guys to have not only my best, but like a good digestible and watchable episode and not something that I just put out just because I wanted to put it out on time. So I found time to film um, on a separate day. Today's Saturday, a day after you're seeing last week's episode. And I'm going to do it right. I'm going to do an actual episode today. Last week, I did say this episode would be about conspiracy theories. I'm going to hold off on it because when I did the episode last week, last week, not only was it rushed, I didn't do any of the research. So I had a list of conspiracy theories already. And my intention was to do research for each of those conspiracy theories so I could talk about them and break them down for the video, and I just did not do that. Sorry, my cat's being annoying. I did not do that last week. I just literally went off the dome, and I was googling mid episode, and overall, it was rushed and it was not like clean and concise as I wanted it to be. So I will not be doing conspiracy theories this week. Stay tuned for future episodes for conspiracy theories. This week I will do retail horror stories, because if you don't know, or if you don't remember, I've worked retail all my life, all my adult life of working. I've worked retail. Um, my first ever job was at Walmart, and I was with Walmart for 6 years, and I was a supervisor manager for 3 of those years. So I have a lot of stories to tell. I currently work at a clothing store now, so I work still in retail. And I have a lot of stories to tell you, not just from Walmart alone, but from my current job. Because something happened to me the other day at that job, and I was like, you know what? I'll just do a podcast episode just complaining about retail. I'm complaining about working in retail. So I thought that would be a perfect episode for this week while I'm out on vacation and having a fun time and not having to stress about this being a bad episode. I'll just re record one and make it a good episode. Um, if you couldn't tell, my microphone holder of the day is Little Chip from Beauty and the Beast. If you guys don't know, Beauty and the Beast is not only my favorite Disney princess movie, it's my favorite Disney movie, period. That is my favorite movie. I had it on a VHS tape when I was a little girl, and I would put it in before bed every single night. And I ran that bitch to its end, let me tell you. I loved that movie so bad. I love Princess Belle. I love Chip. Chip is one of my favorite characters. Um, and I got this at Disneyland when I went to Disneyland in 2024 with my little girl group. We went to TwitchCon, and then we went to Disneyland after for a few days, and it was so much fun. I got this. This is one of those that you put on your shoulder, and it just hangs out with you throughout the park. I lost the little because it's like a magnet thing. I lost the little thing that he sits on. Don't know where that is. Not important. But yeah, I'm holding Chip today. It's actually kind of a nice holder because it's just like a cup. My fingers in his nose, and this is a comfy little mic holder. So I'm really happy about that. Um, I've kind of been going through it these past couple of days, my personal life. So if I seem a little bit out of energy, a little kind of not here, it's because I'm not. So I'm just filming just to not only to have a better episode for you guys to watch, but also for me to like kind of ease my mind a little bit and distract me a little bit from the happenings in my life, if that's okay with you guys. Um, but yeah, so let me just get right into it. I'm gonna first start with the story that started it all, and why I wanted to tell retail horror stories, because this happened to me 2 days ago. So today is Saturday. This happened to me on Thursday. I had 2 days off previously of work, Tuesday and Wednesday. Tuesday is when I filmed both of those episodes. Wednesday I didn't do jack shit, I don't think, and I went back Thursday. Okay, so think of it as like your Saturday, Sunday. That was my Saturday, Sunday. Went back to work. Thursday was my Monday, and honestly, like the first part of my shift was fine. I was working a closing shift, so I worked 1 to 9 that day. And the first part of my shift was okay. I went to lunch at 4 o'clock, came back at 5. I was on register. Now I'm on register, okay? I'm doing my thing. I'm literally standing there looking cute. Because I looked really cute that day. No, actually, I actually got ready for like first time in a long time for work. Did my makeup, did a full beat, curled my hair, did the whole thing, right? Wore a cute little outfit. I look cute, right? So I'm feeling my oats, girl. I'm standing at the register, and it's kind of slow. Like it was really busy when I first got there, and then like it kind of slowed down by the time I got back from my lunch. So it was nice. I was standing around, and I clocked this guy because you can see obviously the main doors, um, straight across from the register, and there's glass windows, so you can see people walking past. Right. I saw this guy coming into the store, and he looked, I don't know. He looked kind of questionable. I was like, oh, okay. He came in and he did one of these. Hold on. Sorry if that was loud. He did one of those to nothing. Now, we do have a camera that you can, those cameras that you can see yourself in, that are recording you. We have one of those when you walk right into the store. I thought he did one of those to the camera. He didn't. He did that just into the air. And I was like, oh, he's one of those, right? And I saw him and he's walking straight, okay? And in my line of sight, it looks like he's walking straight for me. But I know he could like bust a left and go to the men's section, which is I'm assuming where he was going. Because he kept walking straight, right? No, girl. He's guns blazing, eyes on me. He is walking towards me. And I'm like avoiding eye contact. I'm looking around. I'm like, no, like don't come over here. But he did. And he came up to me and he was like, were you working yesterday? And he seemed like he was under the influence of something. So I took that in mind. He's like, were you here yesterday? I'm like, why the fuck am I gonna tell you that, right? Like that's weird. And he's like, no, were you on shift yesterday? And then I was like, maybe like he's one of our new hires and like he was here yesterday, because like mind you, I've been off 2 days and we already had a new hire within that day, those days that I was gone, right? So I thought like maybe he was a new hire and like he had a question or something, and I was like, no, I wasn't. And he was like, oh well, it's because I was here yesterday and I feel like I made people uncomfortable and I wanted to apologize. Oh, okay. I was like, thank you. And in my head, I'm like, what did you do to make people feel uncomfortable, right? I was like, maybe like a customer complained about him, or like, my coworkers complained. I don't know, but like he just kept saying it. He was like, yeah, I just wanted to apologize. I feel like I rubbed people off the wrong way. I made them uncomfortable, and I don't like feeling like that, so I wanted to apologize. And I was like, okay, like thank you. I wasn't here, but like I'll relay the message, right? And then he walks away. He goes to the men's area. He does his thing. Whatever. He leaves. So that was like the first weird happening of me coming back from lunch, right? The next, and then okay, hold on. Sidetrack. I'm still on register, okay? It's like 5:40, 5:45. This lady comes up to me with her daughter. She's holding her daughter's hand, and she was like, "Where's your nearest restroom?" And I was like, "Oh, like unfortunately we don't have one in store, but the closest one is across the street behind the Sephora." And where I'm working, mind you, I work in an outdoor mall, right? So there's shops and restaurants around. So it's not like an indoor mall, where you just like leave the store and go to a bathroom. Like there's outside restrooms, but the closest one was literally across the street, right? And I told her, I was like, I know it's inconvenient, but it's like right over there. And she looked at me, she's like, oh, and I was like, yep, right over there, right? So like she left. I'm assuming to go to the bathroom because I'm like, maybe her daughter needs to go to the bathroom. Hold on, I need to get my cat. And I'm back. Sorry, my cat loves to fuck with blinds, and she was messing with my blinds in my room because there's kids playing outside, and it's really fucking annoying. So I had to go get her. I had to take her out, take her out of here. Um. Anyway, lady leaves. I'm assuming to go to the bathroom because I think like her kid needs to use the restroom or something. So it eventually, it's like 6 o'clock now. So my hour is done on the register. Now I'm running clothes to take back to men's in the kids department. And mind you, this is like 20 minutes after this lady, right? This lady asked me where the restroom is at. I'm taking these clothes back to the men's area, and in the very, very back. So in the store, we have two fitting rooms, one in the ladies' area and one in men's. The one in men's is always closed, just because it's never like too busy where we need both of them open, and men's is only like two, literally two fitting rooms. So it's like kind of pointless. So a lot of the times, like people were like, "Oh, like are these fitting rooms closed?" I'm like, "Yeah, well these ones are open over here." There's a lot more open in the ladies area, right? And they're in the very very back of the store. So like from the front where that remember where that guy come in the entrance, you have to go past the cash area through men's all the way in the back. That's the farthest fitting room to go to, right? And mind you, it's at the very back of the store. I'm taking clothes back to men's, and there's these jeans that are on the table, right? And I see a little puddle right in front of the fitting room door. And I'm like, huh, that's weird. Maybe that guy that I saw had like water and he spilled it. Because it wasn't like a big puddle. It was just like a little puddle and it looked like water. I was like, maybe he just like spilled his water. He didn't tell anybody. That's not unusual. Okay. I'm used to that happening all the time. It's annoying, albeit very annoying. But if it's like a little, if it's like a little water puddle, a little juice, I'm okay cleaning it up. I'm gonna cuss you out the whole time. Like, bitch, you could have fucking told me. You could have fucking told me, and now people are gonna slip, and it's gonna be a lawsuit. But I'll clean it up, right? So I see that, I see a little water puddle, and I'm like, oh, like let me get some paper towels. I noticed this guy. He was a very tall guy, and I see him in the men's area, and he sees me clock the spill. Okay, he sees me. He watches me proceed to go to the front where there's paper towels, grab the paper towels, go back to where the puddle is, and he gets a little bit closer. Okay, I'm clocking him. He's right there. He's standing around watching me do this. Okay, and now with me, with spills, I don't touch the paper towel ever. I don't touch it when it's on the floor at all. I use my feet. So I use my shoes. Okay. So I'm like wadding up paper towels. I'm getting it on both ends of the spill to like bring it to the middle, using my feet to bring it to the middle so it all dries up and absorbs. Okay. Halfway into doing this, mind you, this man is still standing over there watching me do it. My store manager comes, she finds me, and she's coming to ask me a question about me being on shift tomorrow, right? And she comes, she's like, "Oh, is that a spill?" And I was like, "Yeah, I think somebody spilled some water." As I say that, that man chimes in. He says, "No, my daughter had an accident." Literally, I had like a Jim from fucking Office moment where I'm like looking at the fucking imaginary camera, like, what did this man just say? His daughter had an accident? And it didn't connect to me in my mind in this moment, right? But I was like, oh. And then the store manager is like, oh, like stop. Call, I'm about to leave, but call the other manager so that she can get absorbent. Because if you guys don't know, managers are the only people who are allowed to clean up when it comes to like bodily fluids. So if it comes to like, urination, defecation, throw up, blood, managers are the only supervised person to clean up those spills. Any other spill like water and stuff, an associate can. And I know that because I was a supervisor for many many years, and so I had to call the manager so she can actually get the stuff to clean it up. And this man, mind you, was standing there the entire time knowing I was cleaning up pee pee, and he didn't tell me until the store manager came to talk to me. Man, fuck you. So the manager comes and cleans it up. I complain about it to my coworker, and then I see that lady with her kid, the same kid, and that man. It was that lady who didn't take her daughter to the bathroom across the street and let her pee pee on the store floor in the back of the men's department. Are we serious? I'm like, okay, so the bathroom being across the street is inconvenient and annoying, but one of two things. It's so fucking close. It's literally like a minute and a half walk tops. And they're doing construction. So like there's no like cars going by on that street. It's literally just a straight walk. All you have to do, leave our store, bust a right, go across the street, go behind the Sephora that it's behind, and then use the bathroom. It would have took her the same amount of time to walk to the back of the fucking men's department that it would take her to walk across the street to the bathroom. Add 30 seconds. I was so mad because I saw that little girl, and like, I understand that accidents happen. That's fine. Like, if it was truly an accident, that's okay. This lady knew where the bathrooms were, and if she really had to fucking go, it took her a minute and a half to get to the fucking bathroom, and then you can come back. It pissed me off so bad because if it was just an accident, they didn't know where the bathroom was, that's fine, okay? That's fine. I'm not mad. She knew where the bathroom was. Oh my god. And it feels like people are so annoying. And like the man watched me clean it up whole time, didn't say anything until the manager came to talk to me. Are we serious? You watched me clean up your daughter's urine and you didn't think to tell me, "Hey, that's pee. Hey, it's pee. You can't clean that up." Oh my god. So that happened to me, and now that's sparking this whole podcast episode of retail horror stories. Because what do you mean? What do you mean you knew where the bathroom was and you proceeded to let your daughter go to the bathroom in store? I would be embarrassed. I'd be so embarrassed. Not only would I be embarrassed at the sheer fact that my kid had an accident, but I know that you told me where the bathroom was, and I still didn't take my kid to go to the bathroom. Ugh. I know not having a bathroom in store is annoying in and of itself, but if there's a really close bathroom, I don't fucking know, girl. Pissed me off, all right? That's the first happening that's happened. Well, at this store, kind of. Like, not so much weird stuff has happened since I started working there because I transferred there since my original store that I work at inside of a mall is under a remodel, which is really exciting. It opens up soon next month, I believe. But like nothing crazy has happened since working at this store. This is the craziest shit that's happened to me, and it really threw me back to my Walmart days because girl, when I tell you I have a lot of stories, I'm going to get into them. I'm going to get into them all right now. I don't think I have any more stories from my previous store that were really annoying. This one time this lady, I was processing a return for this guy, and he returned like the paper bag. And if you guys don't charge for bags in Colorado, they are 10 cents for paper bags. And this guy like returned, he's like, "Can I give you this bag back?" When bags are given back, we don't recycle them for other customers, just because like there's rips in them, and like at that point they become trash. But I took the bag back from this customer, and this lady, who mind you I was even helping, she was being helped by the my coworker next to me. She saw me, she's like, "Oh, I hope you reuse that bag." And I was like, "Oh, like typically we don't." And she's like, "Well, I hope he got the refund for it." And I was like, "Yeah, he did." And I was like, "The fuck?" Like, just made like a face. And then she was like, "Oh, you're laughing at me just because I was like, yeah, he did." And I'm like, "What?" I was like, "No one's laughing at you." And she's like, "Oh, you guys are really fucking rude here." And I was like, "Hello?" I wasn't laughing at her. I just like chuckled at the absurdity of it, but I wasn't like full on laugh, like pointing and ha hee hee in her face. I wasn't doing that. I was like, "Ma'am, please, please, Karen, please calm down. It's not that serious." And I waited for her to leave to throw the bag away because I couldn't reuse that bag. It was ripped and shit. And she wanted me to reuse it for a customer. Hell no. Anyway, I think that's the only other story that's happened since working at this new store that I work at. Because I started working here July last year. So almost a year that I've been working at the store. It's really nice. Yeah. I haven't had like too bad of customers since, but Walmart, let me tell you. Okay. I'm gonna go in the trajectory of my Walmart career, you could say, because I worked there for 6 years from 2019 up to 2025. I first started working there fresh out of high school, mind you. I was 18. I was a month after I graduated, a month to the day after I graduated when I started working there. And I'm just gonna give like customer horror stories because I could do a whole separate video about coworkers, but that could also get back to them, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to I don't want to put them on the spot, right? So I'm just gonna talk about customers because that feels safer. My first like earliest memory that I have of working there, and my first crazy customer, it happened like I want to say a couple months into me working there. This had to have been like maybe August, September, and I started working in June of 2019. and we're setting up for I feel like it was around like a holiday. What's that holiday in September? Not Memorial Day. The other one is it Memorial Day? I don't fucking know. But it was around one of those holidays, and I at this time I was in between departments. So I was originally when I got hired on, I was a cosmetics cashier. So the register in the cosmetics area where you go like get your makeup, your health and beauty products, all that. I was a cashier there. I also like stocked that stuff. I was a night shift associate, and then I they changed me to morning shift, and I worked like all around. I worked in garden center, I watered plants, I worked in the toy department, I helped stock toys. I still helped in cosmetics whenever they needed a cashier. I worked up front at the cashier at the register sometimes, and I worked a lot of my time in the seasonal department. The seasonal department is the area where like all the holidays are. So like when we start setting up Halloween in fucking September, and you guys are like, what the fuck? Um, I was the one doing that. I did that for a big part of my Walmart career also. But I remember I was in this area and we were setting up for like a holiday something. And this guy comes up to me and he's in one of those electric carts. And he was like, hey, like, do you mind helping me shop? Now, this isn't out of the ordinary. If people do need assistance in shopping, an associate who is busy and who is free can help them. There's some people who just need you to grab, stuff from top shelves, or they need help because they're visually impaired, anything like that. And you are more than, you know, not obligated to, but you're empowered to help the customer if you have the time, right? And at that moment, I had time. I was like, oh, like, I just finished this. Let me tell my manager that I'm gonna help this guy because he was like in one of those carts. If it seemed like he just needed some additional help, mind you, I'm fairly new, so I'm a little bit naive to the situation. Because anybody else would have clocked. This guy doesn't seem right, right? But I'm helping him. He's like, okay, I just need some Windex, I need some dish soap. He's telling me the stuff that he needs, right? And he's in his little cart and we're making conversation, He's being respectful for the most part. And then we get to like the chemicals area where he's getting the Windex, the dish soap. I mean he grabs the Windex, or I grab the Windex for him. And he's like, oh yeah, I used to drink this stuff all the time. I was like, oh, okay. I was like, do you want this one? You want the big bottle? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, okay, it's this price. He's like, yeah, that's fine. Put it in his cart. And now I'm a little weirded out. And then he started getting weird. He started like being flirtatious in a creepy way, like in a perverted type of way. And he started like hitting on me, like macking on me, being like, oh, you're so beautiful. I wish I had somebody as beautiful as you in my life, like all this stuff, right? And now I'm getting uncomfortable. And then we get to the dish soap, and he was like, oh yeah, like this stuff is really good, I put it in my hair. And he's being crazy, okay? I take this as an opportunity to take in his appearance, and not to be like really fucking mean or anything, but he just wasn't well kept, right? His like feet were like dirty black, and it was just like it was so much that I was noticing about him that I was like, ooh. And then he started making those comments and like advances on me, and I was very uncomfortable. And in this moment, I didn't know what to do, because like I don't see anybody around who's working with me that I could be like, help, right? So I'm like, okay, like, is that all you needed help with? And he was like, no, you're staying with me, come. And like he's driving off, and he like makes a turn like past the electronics department to like the fabric area. And at this time I made really really good friends with my girl Eileen. If you guys remember, I talked about her a couple episodes ago. I see her, I make eye contact with her, she sees me with this guy, and I'm like, help me. Like I mouth the words to her, and she comes and she's like, oh my god, Dallas, can you help us with this? And then I'm like, oh yeah, of course, I'm sorry, sir. And then he goes about his day. I am so shaken. I start crying. I'm like crying. I'm shaking. I'm like, oh my god, like he was being so weird. He was being really fucking weird to me. And she's like, oh my god, come. She took me to the back. I found my manager. I tell him what happened. He's like, oh my god, you stay in the back here. You calm down. Cry it out, whatever you need to do. And you just stay here for a little bit, okay? So he goes to tell security about him. And then I remember I had a chance to calm down and really breathe and like gather myself. And I come back out, and I'm staying like close with one of my coworkers because I'm like, this guy's weird. He's still in the store, right? Come to find out, he's making a scene, girl. I remember I watched him. He went to like the crafts area. He grabbed yarn. He grabbed so much yarn and he started throwing it off the shelf. And he'd grab like two of them and like rub them in his hair and then throw them. And I remember the store manager at this time, he was following him he was following him around on this little cart telling him, you need to leave the store, you need to leave the store. And this guy's like, fuck you, and he started throwing stuff off the shelves. Like, he was causing a scene, girl. And then they finally kicked him out. And I remember that day, like, the manager, he was like, just go on register for the whole day. I'm like shaking, I'm still shaking. I'm like, oh my god, like, what the fuck, this has never happened to me before. And I get off work, I go to my dad's car because my dad's supposed to pick me up that day. My dad's not in there. He went to go pick up a prescription inside. I was like, oh my god, please come. Like, I was worried that guy was gonna come out and like find me at the car and like steal me or something. Oh my god, it was crazy. That's like the first like story I've had that, like, quite literally, I was so young too. Like, it just put like a fear in my heart. I'm like, oh, people aren't normal sometimes. Like, in these stores, they're really not. Like, some people are freaking out to get you. I'm not even playing with you. But that was my first weird customer. And shortly after that, it was Labor Day. Okay. These happened literally back to back. So it was Labor Day. It was the day of the labor. Okay. I'm on register. I'm helping because there's long lines, right? And at Walmart or at any store, I believe, if you don't know, cashiers have a specific time where the computer locks them out because it's time for their lunch. And at least in my state and my district and my county, it cuts you off at hour 5. So say you come in at 7 o'clock that day, your lunch, you would lunch normally at 11 to 12, because that's 4 hours into your shift. The computer, the registers will hard lock you off. Um, sorry, I got a text message, girl. It will hard lock you off the register at 5 o'clock because that's the time, like, that's over the time that you're supposed to be at lunch, right? And it gives you warnings, I believe 15 minutes prior. So from 11:45 up until 12, it gives you a warning every single time you sign out that, hey, you need to clock out for lunch. Okay. So I got my first warning. I turn off my light. Now, let me tell you guys a little something. When a cashier has their light off at a register, you do not proceed to line up in the line at that register. Okay. This is a PSA for everybody. You do not line up. And typically, what I do is I tell people who proceed to line up, I'm closed. I make it firm hard stop, right? But today, mind you, is a busy day. It's Labor Day. And I remember because when I turn off my light, I look at the last person in line. I see them. I'm like, okay, that's the last person. That's the only person I'm gonna help after this, right? So I'm going through transactions, whatever. The 15 minutes go by, and I tell this lady and this guy that are lining up, I'm closed, right? I make it a scene, I make it a point, right? They ignore me. They continue to line up. So after that guy, the guys that I saw at the end of my line when I first turned off my light, I go through them. The register kicks me off. I can't sign on. I can't sign on at all. And so I'm like, I'm sorry, like, I've been closed this whole time, my light's been off. And this lady was like, oh, I'm sorry. She starts taking her stuff off the conveyor belt. And the guy behind her, he was like, no, fuck that bitch. You put your shit back on there. She has to check you out. I was like, who are you feeling like? I was like, no, I don't. And he was like, yeah, you do. And I was like, sir, I apologize, but my light's been off for the last 20 minutes. And I've been telling you guys that I've been closed this entire time. And you guys proceeded to line up in my line. I cannot take you anymore. I have to go on lunch. And he was like, that's fucking bullshit. You're a fucking bitch. Sign on and check me out. And I was like, I can't. I was like, I can't fucking sign on. What do you not understand? And I start shaking because, like, when I get mad and in confrontation with somebody, I'm like shaking and I'm like, I can feel my body heat up because I'm getting so mad, right? And I'm defensive as fuck because this grown ass man is yelling in my face, calling me a bitch, calling me all this stuff, saying all these like hurtful things to me. And when I can't do anything, like, I can't log onto the register, I can't check you out if I wanted to, right? So like the manager finally somebody comes, and she comes, she's like, what's going on? And I was like, I can't log in. I was like, I got locked out. They lined up after my light was off. I told them I couldn't check them out. Now they're getting mad. And she's like, okay, she overrides me on the register. I check out this lady, whatever. She brings somebody to replace me. This guy's mad. As soon as I walk out of the line, he was like, yeah, fuck you, stupid bitch, all this stuff. And I start bawling my eyes out. I start crying. I go to my lunch, I'm crying. I don't even eat my food. I'm sobbing, fully sobbing. And I remember I had this conversation with my coworker. She's like an older coworker. She was like, you cannot let this stuff get to you like that. She was like, these people are going to keep doing this and you're going to get a lot worse. And if you fold under pressure like that and you crack and you show them that they're affecting you like that, you're just going to keep getting it worse. And I was like, okay. And since that day, tough skin, baby. Tough skin. As so, if me now, if I was in that position that I was in when I was 18, I would have left the fucking register. I don't give a fuck if I can't sign on and I told you so many times that I'm closed and you keep lining up anyway. I'm leaving. I'm fucking leaving. I'm going to my lunch. Sorry. Go to the next one. Like, don't piss me off. Don't sit there and yell at me until I'm to the point of tears because you're being a fucking asshole and you line up in my line when I'm obviously closed, right? Am I crazy? If you guys do that, a big fuck you to you, because fuck you. Fuck you. Don't do that to a person. Don't ever do that to a cashier. Please, promise me now. You're not gonna do that. But yeah, I remember that happened and I was like, are we for real? Are we for real? That is like, those two are the first memorable ones that I've had that happened very early on when I was working there. In between there, I've had my fair share of some fucking asshole customers. But not everything like crazy happened until I became a manager. Because it's like when you become a manager, everything fucking changes. Like, and I was also young. I became a manager when I was 21, I believe. So I started when I was 18, worked all the way through, and then I became 21. I became a manager over apparel, over the clothing department. And girl, did I have a work ahead of me. It was a lot to take in. I was very young, I was very new to it. But I had so much experience in leading because prior to that, for like a year and a half, I want to say, I ran a whole department by myself. Without the title, right? Without a manager title. I did all the hard work, and that was in the seasonal area. And I ran that like the fucking Navy, girl. I was in there. It was my baby. I took a lot of pride in it. That was my bread and butter, right? So when I became a manager, I was already in that leader position. So like that wasn't off to me. It was just the customers become a lot more ruder to you. And especially when you're a young, not only young, but young woman, and you're telling them, like, no, I can't do that. Or, no, you're not going to yell at my associates like this, right? So I remember this one time. It was kind of like later on into me being a manager. I want to say like a year or two in, and I was setting up what is called an end cap. So if you look at the end of the aisles, you know how like on the very end, like there's some like, cereal or like Pop Tarts or something like that, very end of the aisles, they have stuff that are on them, product on them. Those are called end caps. I was building an end cap in the men's department, and they send what they're called features. Features are either palletized, so they're meant to stay on a pallet that stays in between aisles, or they are meant to go on an end cap, and they are come in those boxes, which are called PDQs. They come in those boxes, and you put them on the shelves as you normally would, right? So I was doing that. Okay, I'm I'm busy. I'm sweating, right? I'm taking these boxes off. I'm going crazy, right? I'm setting up this end cap, and I see from like the corner of my eye, mind you, the area that I work in is predominantly a Hispanic Latino community. And with that being said, a lot of the workers there are Hispanic or Latino, and so that's typically the community that I worked in, the community that I grew up in, and so that's the people that you're going to see at the store, right? So my team of associates consisted of a lot of Hispanic and Latino ladies who kind of didn't speak English very well. Their main language was Spanish, and that was absolutely fine. I was learning Spanish, they were learning English. We helped each other, right? So I was very protective of them because a lot of people aren't as accepting or as open-minded as I am, and they're very rude to them, okay? And it wasn't even one of those ladies, I don't think. It was another lady. She was from Africa, and she mainly spoke French. That was her mother language. That was pretty much all she spoke. She got on like with Spanish and with English because of us, like her team, right? And this guy came up to her and he asked her where something was at, and it was quite literally in the aisles behind him, and she like pointed at him, and I could tell from the conversation, just from looking, that he was getting frustrated. And so she pointed at me, and he came up to me. He's mad, girl. He's seething, mind you, white man. He's coming up to me. He's like, why the fuck does nobody here speak English? And I was like, oh, like, how can I help you, sir? Like, very straight to the point, like, what the fuck do you want, right? And he was like, I'll get to that in a minute. Why the fuck do you guys hire people here who don't fucking speak English? And I was like, she speaks English. What do you need help with? And he was like, where's the needle and thread? I was like, go back to where you just were, turn around. It's in the aisles down there. I told him the exact aisles. I think it was F19, F20. He was like, you guys need to hire more people who fucking speak English. Don't you know this is America? People need to speak English here. And I was like, I don't give a fuck. I'm like, I don't care. I was like, she was probably speaking English to you and you didn't want to fucking hear it from her. So you came to me to talk to me, right? I was like, I don't care. And he was like, fuck you. You guys, blah, 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 right? He goes, he gets his fucking little needle and thread. He comes back around, girl. Literally, he comes back to where I am. And he was like, you fucking liberals. This is fucking America. We speak English in here. Rah. And I was like, who you feeling like? I was like, who the fuck you yelling at? I literally said, I was like, who the fuck are you yelling at? And he was like, fuck you, bitch, as he's walking away. I was like, oh, okay, that's comical. I was like, don't come in my store. Don't come in this store in my area and try to start that shit with me. You got the wrong fucking bitch. I was like, you got the wrong bitch on the wrong day, okay? I was not having a good day. I was busting my ass doing this end cap, and now you're gonna annoy me because no, don't piss me off. Oh my god, I can't stand people who are like that. It's what I fucking hate. Urgh! Makes me so mad because it's like, who are you? Who even are you to be even fucking saying all that? The fuck? Ugh. Anyway, that's another happening. That happened like not that long ago too. It was when the little fucko was in office. Yeah, that's when it happened. Little. Urgh. Anyway, that's one that really ground my gears. All the gears that I have, he ground all of them. Because don't come to me thinking you're gonna find community in me just because I'm a fellow white person. You got the wrong one. No, 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 sir. No, ma'am. Not me. So that's one. That's a really memorable one because I felt so protective of my associates in that moment. I was like, don't talk about her like that. You keep her name out of your mouth, right? Oh my god. But I was one of those managers. I was one of those where like whatever my associate tells you is fucking right, and they're in the right, you're in the wrong always. I don't care what it was. If you're gonna raise an attitude and be a fucking little asshole and a little bitch and then proceed to come to me to think you're gonna bitch me out, no, absolutely not. I am not the one. I will defend the people that I work with till the day that I die. I don't give a fuck. This little older lady, she's very fucking nice. It was like the last hour of her shift. She's trying to work, and you're being a little cunt. No, not having it. Anyway, we're moving on because now I'm getting mad. I think this is gonna be the last story because this is actually kind of it's a long episode, girl. Um, wait, what story is this gonna be? Oh yeah, okay. So you guys know I worked as a manager in apparel, and remember the story I told you, the first story where bodily fluids manager has to clean those up, right? Okay, let's get into it. This is like year two that I'm a manager, okay? Painting you a picture. I was hanging around the fitting room because like I was doing something that I didn't want to do on the floor, because doing stuff on the floor, there's customers coming by, they're like grabbing stuff off, like especially when you're putting stuff on clearance, they're grabbing stuff, they're like, oh, how much is this? Is this gonna be that price? Is it? And it's like, girl, fuck you, and let me put it out first, right? So in the fitting room, there's not many people who come by. People only come by when they're trying stuff on or if they're looking for socks, because the lady's socks was in that area. But it's a lot more peaceful, people aren't just grabbing and stuff. So I was working there, and I think it was this lady who comes and she goes to try on these sweatpants. Okay. She goes inside. tries on the sweatpants, comes out with the sweatpants on. The operator, they're officially an operator because they answer the phone, but they also handle the fitting room. He was like, "Hey, you can't wear like the pants out. You have to buy them first." And she's like, "I'm so sorry, I have to." And then she runs to the register, okay? And he's like, "That's weird." He goes, "Please, I'm gonna hold your hand. I'm gonna hold your hand when I tell you what I'm about to tell you." He goes into the fitting room. There's dirty pants, underwear inside of the fitting room on the bench. He doesn't know what it is. He grabs a glove. He grabs it. There is skid marks on the fitting room bench, as if this person, no, not as if this person did um poop their pants inside the store. They left the poopy pants and poopy underwear on the bench, and there was a skid mark on the bench, from where that person was, I'm assuming, sitting, and putting on the new pants. And I was the only I was the only other manager there, besides the newer manager who just came. She was one of my besties there. And he was like, "Dallas, I think that's poop." He came, he was like, "I think they pooped their pants." He threw away the pants, and I looked at the skid mark. Girl, I had to clean it up. Me? You mean I had to clean up the poopy skid marks on the fitting room bench? I had to clean that up because I'm the manager. I had to do it. I remember calling my manager who's above me, who ran over all of the apparel, because I was a team lead. Okay, let me break it down. Walmart used to have department managers. They got turned into team leads. Team leads oversaw 3 departments in the area that they're in, and then a coach, or what used to be assistant manager, oversaw the entire area. So my manager oversaw all of apparel. I was a manager over men's and ladies that areas, right? And so I walkie her, and she comes and she's like, "You're a manager. You got to clean it up." I was gagged. That was the day that I found out that managers have to do that. I was gagged and gooped. I was like, I have to clean up poop. I have to clean up poop. Doubled, tripled the gloves. Got the disinfectant spray. Got to town. I was like, oh, crying the whole time. This was one of those like first moments that I had of really solidifying the fact that I was a supervisor and I have to do a lot of tough shit, right? I'm like squeezing chip right now. I'm just throwing myself back into that memory. Oh my god. It was so bad. I was crying. Like it was awful. Why did you go poopy and you changed your pants? Just steal the pants, girl. Go to the bathroom and fucking put them on and take them out. Like, why didn't they go to the bathroom? You mean to tell me you walked around with poopy pants and poopy underwear and you didn't think to go to the bathroom? You're like, "Oh, let me go get a change of pants and change into the pants with a shitty butt." Okay. Okay. Right. And then I have to clean it up. I have to clean up the poop stain, the skid marks on the bench. I contemplated just putting that as a hazard and closing that fitting room for the rest of the day, but I had to be respectful and I had to clean it and disinfect it and do the whole nine. And that's what I did, and it smelled like poop in there, and it was really bad. And I had to like spray like room spray, until it smelled just like room spray, and all of it smelled like a hospital. But yeah, I think that's gonna do it for stories today because I can't even get into another one if I wanted to. I hope this was a fun episode to listen to. I love telling stories of working in retail because it is a crazy field to work in. If you guys have never worked retail, I want you to do it for a day and be a lot more respectful to retail workers, whoever that may be, a Walmart associate or anybody else under the sun. I want you to be a lot more respectful and kind to them, because those jobs are very hard and they deal with stupid people every single day, of their lives. And you would not believe the type of people that you fucking get when you work in retail. So I implore everyone, if you're not going to be kind to retail workers, at least work a day in retail and then you come back to me and you're like, okay, yeah, I get it. Anyway, I think that does it for me today for this week. I really hope you guys have a very fun weekend. I know I am. I'm gonna be in Seattle by the time this episode. Well, not by the time because this will release at 12 a.m. I'll be asleep. But by the time probably when you guys are waking up and seeing this, I'll either be on a plane or in Seattle. So wish me luck. tell me to have some fun. I'm gonna have a blast. I'm gonna be with my friends. I'm very, very excited. And I will see you guys next week for next week's episode. I promise. Next week's episode will not be conspiracy theories. It will be another different type of episode. Whatever I decide to do, it will be a surprise, okay? Because I don't know if I'm going to be recording an episode when I'm in Seattle or when I come back. But tune in next week to see what that episode will give you. You will have a new nail cam of the day, that episode. And yeah, we're going to get into the closing segment of today's episode, the word of the day. I do the word of the day on two different websites, Merriam-Webster, which is a dictionary website, and New York Times, which is not a dictionary website, but they just do words that they use in their articles. And I think that's fun. So today's word of the day from Merriam-Webster is wiseacre. Wiseacre? Don't know how to say that. A wiseacre is someone who says or does things that are funny but annoying. Oh, it's an informal and old-fashioned word, as well as a synonym of smart ass. They don't say ass, they say Alec. A smart ass. Oh, okay. Maybe I'm a wiseacre. A whizziker? How do you say that? I don't know. All right. Now let's do New York Times word of the day. Their word of the day is solace. Ah. Solace means comfort, relief, or consolation in a time of distress, sadness, or misfortune. Wow. I'm finding solace in today's episode. I could say that. That's really nice. I actually like that one. A lot more than I thought I would. Okay. That's really cool. I'm gonna start crying if I don't stop thinking about that. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. I hope you have such a good weekend. Um Please be kind. Be kind to your neighbor, to a stranger, and most importantly to yourself, because you're all you got, girl or guy or in between. Anybody who you are, however you identify, you're all that you have. So please take care of yourself, and most of all, be kind. Because it's absolutely free to be kind, guys, and it's a lot more rewarding to be kind than to be an asshole. Okay. Please take care of yourselves. I will see you next Friday, where we talk about, I don't know, we're going to talk about something next episode. Yeah, I love you guys so much. And thank you for listening if you did. Yeah, bye guys.